All right, my name is Eoin O'Donnellan. I grew up in Kingston, just before Joyce's there, back in the 60s. I won't give you the year. However, that being said, it was the early 60s. I started playing with Salthill since I'd say I was 6 or 7 years of age when I started playing the parish leagues down here. And yeah, that was the kickstart of a glorious period for Salthill GAA. Instead of winning the medal, we won a bike. I won a bike each, actually, not just between the whole lot of us. We had to share it around. But it was under 14 at the time, so it was. And we played Claremorris in the final. It was a Connacht Tribune competition. And we played, Sammy was over us and Tom Leonard and some greats like that. And we played the final in Pearse Stadium here. And it was nip and tuck. I think we won by 2 or 3 points in the end against Claremorris. It was a Connacht competition. I was full forward at the time, probably one of the greatest full forwards never to have represented Galway. But sure, look at that's the way life goes. You know, not every great player can play for Galway. But at the same time, even though I did play quarterback, sorry, I played a fantastic career for Galway. It was 92 to 92. It's a super longevity of a career. However, yeah, that team, the minor, 3 matches, I was full forward. Sammy said to me, just keep running, Donners, he said, and something will give. And I remember in the 3rd match, going into extra time, I'd done damn all. I was surprised I wasn't even taken off prior to that. High ball went in from Liam Wade on the right-hand side. Wade kicked a high ball. I was just watching it, but I kept running. Hit the crossbar, bounced into my hands, palmed it into the back of the net. 2 minutes later, game over. Back page of the Connacht Sentinel, Tom Leonard put it in. I'll never forget. O'Donnellan seals the deal. Hadn't done anything for 3 matches. You score a goal in 2 seconds and suddenly you make the back pages. I remember after the John Joyce Sevens, God rest John, the John Joyce Sevens one Christmas. It must have been around 1999, and Brian Fahey was the chairman of the club at the time. And we were up having a coke up above in the bar, and Brian said to me, would you ever think of getting back involved? Because I hadn't been involved for about 7 or 8 years with young kids, etc. And I said, yeah. So I got involved with the Junior A team with Dickie and John O'Reilly, and we managed that team, and we went on to win the Junior A in 01 and 03. And then from there, the gap came with the senior squad to have a manager, so the obvious step up would be from, you know, our second team up to the first team. So yeah, then I went in with Hughie, went in with Butsy, with Mark Butler, and with John Joe Burke, and between the 4 of us, yeah, that squad went on. We got it to a county final in 04. 05 won the county final, and then obviously won the All-Ireland club in 06. People say to me, what's your abiding memory or what's your feel-good factor about 06? There's a photograph in the club with 36 squad members inside here in the Áras. And I suppose if you say to me, what is the one thing that you'll say was a real good feel factor for you, was keeping all those 36 guys together. You know, you could have lost 5 or 6 along the way because some were playing, some were dropped, some came along, didn't get a game. But to keep all 36 together, that was fantastic. And they all added to the squad. From the fellow who started in goals to the fellow who was number 36 with the jersey on him. Everybody contributed. And we had a fantastic tour and a fantastic occasions. Not just one. Obviously, we had a few along the way to win the All-Ireland club up in Croke Park in 06. So, I mean, it was just a journey, a fantastic journey. I think anybody that says it, that remembers it. I mean, the day itself was the coldest day in 06, Paddy's Day, was the coldest day. Portumna were on before us in the All-Ireland hurling final, and we came on after them, but it was a bitter cold day. But it heated up, and we won by a point. It was only 7-6, but we won by a point in the end. It was fantastic. Things that dreams are made of. And I'll never forget the bus taking off, and it just lifted everybody, like young fellas with a guard escort doing about 100 miles an hour heading for Croke Park. We hardly went around the roundabouts. I think we went over some of them, and you could see the spurts, and these guys thought, geez, I feel good now, you know, I really want to get on with this. At half time, I think it was at half time, John Joe Burke came in, and he had in silver wrap, right, in tinfoil. He had, I saw him opening up tinfoil at half time. I was giving a team talk and I saw John Joe opening it, and it was nip and tuck. The match, I think we might have been a point down actually at that stage. I'm not sure. Either way, John Joe started opening up this tinfoil, and I said, why is John Joe eating a sandwich at this stage? It's a crucial time of the whole occasion. But he wasn't. He had bought a bit out. We used to train in Salthill Park because there were dark nights and we didn't have the lights here in the Áras on the prairie. And John Joe, and he opened up and he had dug up a little bit of Salthill Park and I put it in the tin foil, and he wanted everybody to remember where they had come from, and to everyone to get a bit of that Salthill Park and to rub it into their hands before they went back out onto Croke Park for the second half. And each member of the squad, not just the team, took a little bit, rubbed his hands on it, went back. I didn't have anything to do. That did it all. It was fantastic. Yeah. The whole journey back, I'll never forget. We came down by train, arrived into Kent Station here in Ayr Square. The crowd that was there to meet us hopped on the bus, and then we stopped in the Spanish Arch and we got off the bus and we walked the trophy across the bridge over as far as the Claddagh, and then we hopped on the bus again. It was just fantastic. It was just the whole occasion to arrive in the Salthill Hotel here, and there was about, I'd say, 4,000 or 5,000 people there to give us a massive round of applause. But the applause was for everybody in Salthill at the time, because everyone got in around the whole occasion. It was just superb. It was just memories that, you know, hopefully they'll happen again for a lot of people, but for me they were fantastic memories, and for everyone involved. Red is the Rose, the Macon McClancy song, Red is the Rose. Yeah, that's the song that we tend to sing that in after matches or after big occasions. For the 1990 Championship campaign, we won the league final in '89 against Tuam Stars, and that's probably where the song would initially started. So back in the dressing room, obviously, you know, I thought I'd bring a bit of banter and a bit of class to the dressing room, you know, and I needed a little bit of gusto because everyone was high-do. I said, okay, let's get a song out there, and this was my song. I think it was the only song I had, so we just gave it gusto, and it took off from there. And every occasion, well, any occasion that I'm involved, much to probably people's despair, if there's a successful situation behind it, I tend to come out with Red is the Rose. So by extension, the lads learnt it, and we used to sing it with, yeah, it was great, fantastic. It was the real anthem of the squad, and it became the anthem of the club, you know, at the time, and hopefully still is, because actually we sang here with the minors recently when Norman and his crew won the minors. Norman gave me a phone call and he said, will you come up the house? They were all just, and it was great, they were all there back in the back garden in Norman's house, and he said, look, they're trying to sing Red is the Rose, and he said, will you give them a hand? And gladly I did, obviously, and they were great, they were fantastic. So the song, you know, it started back in the 80s, but it still exists, which is brilliant. Come over the hills, my bonny Irish lass. Come over the hills to your darling. You choose the road, love, and I'll take the vow, and I'll be your true love forever. Red is the rose that in yonder garden grows, and fair is the lily of the valley. Clear is the waters that flows from the Boyne, and my love is fairer than